Today's news and arrest is a welcome one. It's relief to our university, our community, and our extended Vandal family.
First here at 5 o'clock, an arrest in the quadruple murder near the University of Idaho campus. Detectives say that the suspect is a graduate student at nearby Washington State University. Thanks so much for joining us here at 5. I'm Brittany Folgers. The suspect was found on the other side of the country. Let's bring in Mike Benner, who's following this huge update in the case. And Mike, they arrested this person in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that's right, Brittany. Authorities tell us they tracked down Brian Koberger in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania, where it's believed he has some family. Koberger is in a Pennsylvania jail this afternoon, charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of felony burglary.
This was a very complex and extensive case.
At a press conference Friday afternoon, law enforcement announced an arrest in the slayings of 4 University of Idaho students. Authorities identifying the suspect as 28-year-old Brian Christopher Koberger.
Koberger resides in Pullman, Washington, and is a graduate student at Washington State University.
That school happens to be approximately 15 minutes to the west of the University of Idaho campus, where detectives say Koberger murdered the 4 college students in the early morning hours of November 13th.
Some had defensive wounds, and each had been stabbed multiple times.
Moscow Police Chief James Fry says more than 19,000 tips from the public led authorities to Koberger, who was apprehended early Friday in a private community about an hour south of Scranton, Pennsylvania. Neighbors there are in shock.
I'm a little terrified. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm shaking right now. That's really close to our family.
Yeah, I'm
so,
moving farther away.
I don't see no reason to murder somebody. 4 people, thousands of miles away, and just to come back home. I don't understand.
Koberger is currently lodged in a Pennsylvania jail awaiting extradition to Idaho, specifically Moscow, a community that in all likelihood will never be the same.
These murders have shaken our community, and no arrest will ever bring back these young students. However, we do believe justice will be found through the criminal process.
All right, detectives in Idaho have taken a lot of heat for not sharing a lot of information about this case. The police chief addressed that today, saying that sharing too much information may have tainted the upcoming criminal prosecution or alerted the suspect to the progress authorities were making. Brittany.
A break in the case so many were waiting for. Thank you so much, Mike. New details today in what appears to be a random and unprovoked attack on a 3-year-old. The little girl was pushed from a MAX train platform. She's going to be physically okay, but the details of what happened to her are just downright scary. Tim Gordon is following this case for us, and Tim, it was caught on camera.
Brittany, it was, and so we want to warn everyone that the video of the incident from Wednesday night is pretty hard to watch. That video is now evidence, though, against the woman accused of pushing the child onto the tracks.
It's a 5-second clip that we've slowed down, showing a mother's worst fear. As the mom stands by a stroller, her 3-year-old daughter is pushed from a Gateway Transit Center MAX platform to the tracks below, the child hitting on the rail and rocks. A security camera captured what happened. Investigators say the woman in the red hat is 32-year-old Brianna Lease Workman, who got up from a bench and pushed the 3-year-old. Workman was arrested and now faces a host of charges, including assault and recklessly endangering another person. According to court documents, the child's mother reported that neither she nor the 3-year-old had any interaction with the suspect prior to the attack. And a witness observed Workman shove the young child onto the MAX tracks without provocation. We want to emphasize the girl was quickly rescued and fortunately seemed to suffer only minor injuries, including a headache. For many, what happened at this MAX station goes beyond concerning to maddening. Court documents show the suspect, Workman, has a felony arrest history with drug and assault charges. A judge dismissed a case last summer where Workman was accused of slashing a man in the arm with a knife after the Multnomah County District Attorney's Office declared it was unable to proceed when asked to provide its evidence. In this incident involving the 3-year-old, the DA has rolled out a full serving of charges, and Workman is being held in jail, with the DA requesting she stay there without bail.
Now, Workman is described as homeless in court paperwork. It also shows she did not answer questions about her mental health status or other issues. Her next court date is January 9th. Brittany.
All right. Thanks, Tim. Well, we are still seeing the ripple effects from this week's rain and windstorm. Some beloved statues at Grant Park in Northeast Portland were barely spared. Just check out the tree that uprooted and fell down near Northeast 33rd. It just missed Henry Huggins, part of a trio of bronze statues recognizing Portland author Beverly Cleary and Ramona books. The statues are part of a water fountain that runs in the summertime. There's caution tape around the whole area now. Several trees fell down in the storm at Grant Park and are on the city's cleanup list. Now let's get to your financial news. Oregon renters could face a steep increase to their monthly payments starting in 2023. Because of inflation, the state approved a significant hike to Oregon's cap on rent increases for the new year. KGW's Bryant Clerkley explains.
Landlords will now be able to raise rent by as much as 14.6%. The executive director of the Community Alliance of Tenants is really worried this will kick more people out onto the street because they can't afford it. The Community Alliance of Tenants advocates for the rights of low-income tenants. Kim McCarty says the nonprofit helps 6,000 households, and the past few years have been financially hard on a lot of them. She says she's already getting calls from concerned people who can't afford the rent increase.
The standard rent right now is about $1,500 a month. So a 14.6% increase is over $200 extra a month. That's thousands of dollars per year. How can that possibly be right? No one's wages have increased at 10% every year and 14% this year.
Now the landlord's point of view. This law only applies to rentals 15 years or older and not new construction. We spoke to Christian Bryant with the Portland Area Rental Owners Association. Back in September, he said he understands the concern but does not believe most landlords who would be eligible to raise rents by this much would actually go that far.
The way it's set up right now is if you're a landlord, you're a business. And if your costs go up, just like at your restaurant, or the Home Depot, when they had to pay more for the materials that they sell, they charged the end user more.
A statewide rent cap was first put into place in 2019, and it was set at 9.9%. If your rent is going up, landlords are required to put it in writing to the tenant. Bryant Clerkley, KGW News.
A new AAA report has some positive news for 2023. The agency says prices at the pump will likely go down through next year. Increased supply and lower demand are making the difference. So let's take a look at those numbers. Today, the national average for a gallon of gas is $3.18 per gallon. Compare that to this time last year, gas was sitting at $3.29, so that's an 11-cent decrease. Locally, the drop isn't as big. The price for a regular gallon of gas in Oregon has gone down by 5 cents and by a penny in Washington.